wrmn@bbb.org.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Out to Lunch with WRMN AM 1410, Voice of the Valley, Talk of the Town. Hey, it is Blues Day Tuesday today. As you know, we've got the blues music here on a Tuesday. It's a blues day today, too, because we've got some blue skies outside today. But blue and chilly for sure. It is dangerously cold outside today. Very cold. So we'll definitely talk about that here too. Welcome to Out to Lunch with WRMN 1410 AM, Voice of the Valley, Talk of the Town, broadcasting live here from downtown Elgin, serving the Fox River Valley. I'm your host, Matt McNeil, all bundled up, ready to go for the day today in my turtleneck, making sure that I'm all nice and warm. I've got my hot cup of coffee ready to go, and definitely a day to not have cold drinks because it is quite chilly outside today. We hope that you are all staying nice and warm. As you know, of course, with the weather and temperatures that we are seeing today, we are in that extreme cold warning. So that extreme cold warning is in effect until noon today. So that's in effect until noon today. And we are going to be seeing it here with wind chills as low as negative 32 degrees. So negative 32 degrees. Here in the Kane County area. So it is definitely very cold outside today. Make sure that you are all bundled up and ready to go, and that you're all set there too, because it's very cold outside. We are going to be seeing the temperatures continuing to drop throughout the day. We are going to be seeing it it's going to be a high of only 2 degrees, and it's going to be a low of negative 3. So a low of negative 3 degrees. We are currently seeing right now here too, well, negative 8. It says low of negative 3. That's tonight, but today again, currently at negative 8 degrees. It's very chilly outside, so it is a very cold day outside today. We do have here also partly cloudy skies later into tonight. We are going to be seeing it again, a low of negative 3. We're going to be seeing tomorrow, though, those temperatures eventually going up. So we are going to be seeing it a high of 25 degrees. It is going to be overcast, so it's going to be overcast skies with a high of 25. We're going to be seeing it dropping down to a low of about 13 degrees as we do get into Wednesday night. So Wednesday night's going to be a low of about 13. Heading on into Thursday here. Thursday's a high of 17 degrees. We're going to be seeing intervals of clouds and sunshine dropping down to negative 1 degrees as we do get into Thursday night with clear skies. Heading on into Friday. Friday rolls around here. We do see a high of 21 degrees. Dropping down to a low of 16 degrees as we get into Friday night. And then we are going to be seeing a few afternoon clouds, mainly in sunny, though, is what we're going to be seeing here. That's going to be coming up for Friday with a high of 21 and a low of 16 degrees. And then we head on into Saturday and Sunday for the weekend here. We see a high of 37 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. And then we're going to be seeing a low of 17. And then on Sunday, with a high of 28 and a low of 17, it's going to be we're going to start to see those temperatures eventually rising a little bit more here. So that's going to be very nice. So we're looking forward to that, of course, here. Can't go wrong with that when it comes to the nicer temperatures that we are going to be seeing. So, of course, we've got that going on here today. Taking a look here, what I want to do is I want to, of course, talk a little bit here with you about planning. When it comes to planning, of course, and especially when it comes to planning for beautiful moments, celebrations, and weddings, there's so many different things, of course, that you can do. And we, of course, want you to know about how to plan and, of course, how to ensure that your planning is done correctly. Today, we have a very special treat for all our listeners who love celebrations, beautiful moments, and of course, the magic of weddings and events. Joining us today is Nikki Rogers, a talented and passionate wedding and event planner today, who has dedicated her career to making dreams come true. With her incredible creativity, attention to detail, and commitment to creating unforgettable experiences, Nikki has become a go-to expert in turning life's special moments into cherished memories. So let's give a warm welcome to Nikki Rogers today of the Serendipity Collective. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm so glad you were able to come in, and I know it's so cold outside.
That's okay.
But I really appreciate you coming in today and talking with us a bit about the Serendipity Collective. People have been hearing the ads. We've been getting a lot of great comments as well, too. So we're looking forward to having you on the airwaves today, talking with us.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for having us. I really appreciate it. These are falling off.
Oh.
But yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you guys so very much for having me.
Of course. So tell us a little bit about, so you are the owner of Serendipity Collective.
Yes, I'm the owner and lead planner of the Serendipity Collective. We reopened the company after COVID and everything just a couple of years ago in 2023. And it's been great since then. You know, we are booking up quite a bit. We take a limited amount of events every year, which, you know, just keeps us focused on our clients first and truly making sure that they have the best day that they can.
Absolutely. So what kind of inspired you to create the Serendipity Collective? What was something that in your life really sparked interest and said, hey, you know what, this is something I want to do?
So I've always had a very type A, if you will, personality, very into planning, making sure that everything goes as it should, you know, according to a schedule, according to a plan, and just making sure that, you know, at the end of the day, whatever needed to be done was done. That, along with a lot of creativity as a child and everything, really did kind of spark an interest in the wedding industry. And back in 2003, actually, in Florida, I started wedding and event planning with the Boca Resort, which is a big pink hotel in Florida, South Florida.
Oh, fun.
They have their own event planning division, so I kind of learned everything hands-on there. You know, 2003 was a long time ago. But I do think with this kind of an industry, you know, you don't need to go to school to be a wedding professional, whether it's photography, DJ, videographer, planner. So I do believe in education quite a bit, and there are a lot of different places to get educated. You really want to do your homework with people. You know, anyone could wake up and say, I'm going to start planning weddings today, or I'm going to buy a, you know, good laptop and be a DJ now. Right. So you always want to make sure that you get someone who has their education under control as well. And I actually hold 10 industry certifications as of right now.
Awesome. Oh, wow. So you have quite the experience for sure.
Yeah. The experience and the education side. We do take it pretty seriously within the Serendipity to make sure that we have, you know, the best event for every single one of our clients, like I said.
Now, the thing I really like about this too, and I'm going to show this on the screen for people who are watching on YouTube, is your website. Your website is absolutely beautifully designed. It engulfs so much grace and elegance. Was this a style that you had put together? Was it kind of the help of others? How was that?
It was me. Yep. Yeah. You know, we are truly a small business. It's myself, and then I have two day of assistants who work alongside me for the day. Depending on the size of the event, we'll have at least 2 people on site at all times. But behind the scenes, it is, you know, me mostly. And I get some help as well on occasion, you know, but we don't have anyone. We're not outsourcing it. You know, we keep it all locally as much as we can.
So when you are in the process of hiring, you of course do you look for key skills and what people are able to do when it comes to wedding planning, or is it can it also be like a learning process as well?
I do both, to be honest with you, because that's kind of how I learned. I learned, like I mentioned, hands-on, kind of as that learning experience. So truthfully, I do a little bit of both. While experience is great, the 2 ladies who work alongside me now, I have actually personally trained. Neither one of them had a lot of event experience per se before, but they've gone through some of the education, you know, that we do as well, you know, with our certifications and that. And they're not by us. They are the CWP Society that we do our certifications and that through. But, you know, most of theirs has been hands-on and education as well. learning with me, which is good. Sometimes you pick up habits that might not be ideal, like we can with any industry.
Yep. So talking a little bit about experience for clients, how do you try to create a very warm and welcoming feeling and sort of simple sailing when it comes to planning for weddings and events? Because it can be kind of stressful for those who are trying to plan and you feel overwhelmed. You're like, oh my goodness, I need to make sure that these bouquet of flowers are here and that the orders are all set and ready to go. How do you ensure that people feel comfortable and feeling like, okay, they've got this under control. They're here to help out, and I can definitely kind of take a step back and relax and know that this is under control.
Yeah. A lot of the materials that we offer are all, done by us and that. However, everything is customized from the very beginning. The first time you reach out to us, you're going to see your names on everything. I just feel like that personal touch is really lacking nowadays. So we do try to infuse that as much as we can, just keeping it about the couple, We do extensive timelines. Our timelines on average are about 12 pages long.
Oh, wow.
They can be broken out by vendor, of course. We have some amazing software that we work with, but, they're very detailed, and they're detailed so that you can kind of relinquish that and alleviate some of that stress that you might be feeling. Depending on the packages that they book with us, we have several tiers, several packages. We can help them with every single thing, every single meeting, all the way through the day of course, or we can kind of be a little more hands-off, just working in the background on some things until a couple months before, and then touch base with all the vendors and start building that timeline. A lot of the other software that we work with really does help with that peace of mind factor. We have everything from floor planning systems that can color code how many guests at each table are having different meals, all the way through a 3D floor planning system that we do offer to a lot of our clients as well.
That's really cool. That was going to be my next question about, of course, as we see technology growing, how you're integrating that into your business, and you just told me there. So that's really, really cool. And I think it's also cool to, with the growth of technology, see how other people react to it as well. Like, oh, it wasn't that easy back in, 20 years ago. It's gotten like, wow.
It definitely wasn't. I remember the days of putting floor plans. I still have it. I should frame it. It's a little nostalgic now, but there's a little green, and anyone who's ever planned an event, to this degree would know, there was a little green template where it would have some circles on it to represent sizing. And you used to have to draw the space out and lay out where you wanted the tables to make sure they'd fit properly. But nowadays it's so much easier with, technology and the, AI infused a little bit here and there. And some of those 3D floor plans we have, they can replicate the space exactly. And it's actually pretty incredible.
That is really, really cool. Now, when it comes to that too, of course, we're going to talk a little bit about trends in weddings and events. So have you noticed any recent trends in weddings or events that have influenced how you host or design them? So do you get inspiration from others too, in a way, I guess?
Yeah, sometimes really what we focus on is the client, right? Our couple. They're ultimately what's most important, because the trends are going to come and go. Not everyone's looking for something trendy. If they are, then let's have fun with it, right? But if they're not, if they're looking for something a little more classic or a little more elegant or upscale, or even just a fun, barn wedding, we really focus on hearing what they want in all of our meetings and making sure that it stays true to them, about them, keeping their relationship first and foremost, and really keep that very present in the day versus, ooh, this is on trend. We should do this. This will look good on my social media later. I never, ever, try to influence a client in that way, or even think about our, posts and things. Those are all things that come later if everyone agrees upon it. But truly, we want to keep it about them.
Right.
And making sure that, in 20 years, in 30 years, when they look back at these photos, they're not like, oh, what did I do? Right. Zebra was in that year, huh? Or like, the 80s. We all know those big puffy sleeves or the hats and things.
Yeah, exactly. So you want to ensure that, of course, they can look back and say, wow, I made definitely a great decision with that.
Yep, exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Whatever that decision is, if it is hot pink and zebra, let's do it.
Now, I have to ask, too, what advice would you give to couples planning their wedding, especially when it comes to choosing a venue like yours? What would some advice be?
Yeah, so we're not really a venue. We are just the planner.
Okay.
So we can actually go to any venue, which is nice. A lot of the venues will have a venue coordinator. And there is actually a pretty big difference between the venue coordinator and what we do, which is actually pretty cool. So our venue coordinators, in most cases, will be helping run the day behind the scenes within the venue. So they'll be checking on restrooms, making sure the staff is where they're supposed to be, pouring the champagne toast when the timeline says to do so. They're going to be communicating with the chef that everything is, in fact, going on time. Whereas your planner is a separate entity and still very much required for weddings nowadays. It's no longer a luxury vendor, if you will. You know, we're with you from the start, usually through the day. Our timelines, as I mentioned how extensive they are, they'll start as early as 5 or 6 in the morning sometimes, if that's when you're getting up for hair and makeup.
Yeah.
We're going to list out everything on there. So we're checking in on you. We're making sure you guys are ready to go to the ceremony location, ready to go to the reception location, lined up for processional and recessional and everything, making sure that everything is being done how you wanted it to be. Because when you had a clear mind, not exactly, you have a clear mind the day of, but you got a lot going on, a lot of emotion, a lot of thoughts, a lot of excitement with your fiance and your now, partner, with your, family, your friends, and you're just soaking in all those moments. We want to make sure that you're able to do that, so we're running behind the scenes, making sure that your vendors are setting up where you want them to, making sure your centerpieces have arrived and are on the table how you envisioned, your cake is done, all of that. So we go a step further than your venue coordinator. If your bustle breaks, 9 times out of 10, your venue coordinator may not be as experienced with putting a bustle up if you have a long train on a dress, perhaps. We can fix just about anything. We bring an emergency day kit that has so many things in it.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, very prepared. That's
Yes.
good. Ensuring that that quality there is really, really cool. So, of course, we've been talking about all of the greatness that you have to offer here. Tell us a little bit about some of the services that you have to offer as well, too, for people who might be interested, whether it's a package that has to do with full service planning or a month of coordination with design services. Tell us a little bit about some of those that you have.
So one of the certifications, a couple of the certifications I have, I'm actually a master certified wedding and event planner, a certified educator within the wedding community. So I actually help educate other planners on various things as well, and a design certification, as well as many others, as I've mentioned. So we take those into account with our packages. What that means to us, for our packaging, and that is we can do everything from help you find your venue. If you just got engaged and you're not even sure where to look, you don't always want to go Googling venues near me. You don't know what you're walking into at that point. So if someone wants to go ahead and hire us for our venue selection package, which is not on the website, but that's okay. They can get our venue selection package. That's a great one because it really kind of kicks off, we'll narrow down, we'll have a meeting with them and really kind of narrow down what their vibe is, what their style is, time of year, what's important to them, and their budget. And we're going to, put together a listing for a curated list just for them. And it's going to be completely custom to exactly what they're looking for. We even go on the tours with them at that point.
Oh, wow.
We'll send them about 8 to 15 or so options. They narrow it down to about 4, and we'll go with them for all those tours. That way the venue knows that, they're serious about things, and they know, what they can and can't get away with sometimes.
I think what's also great too is, like you said, you go on the journey with them, so you create that relationship with them as well, which I think is important when you have a service like this.
Yeah.
To create that relationships for that, it's that great connection that we can have. So.
Those social events, 100% agree. Social events are all emotion. And getting back to some of the packages, we do have a full service and a full service with design where you get, over 30 meetings with us. And then we have, our month of, which is also called day of or event management. There's a lot of different names for that particular style of planning. But that starts a couple months out. And, that's where we really hit the ground running with all the foundation that you've put in already. I usually don't recommend anyone wait that long to get a planner. It's never too late until after the wedding, but I think, the planners will book up. We're already about halfway filled for this year and starting to book into next year.
Wow.
So, anyone who is interested, I highly encourage, especially if you're looking at a planner, always look for one pretty early on. Planners, venues, catering, that all kind of goes hand in hand nowadays. And we can really kind of help again, curate those lists of vendors for you. Even if you go with a month of package, we still provide you a list of our approved vendors because we know that they're going to be, amazing vendors. They're going to do a good job. They're not going to not show up or rip anybody off or give them a bad experience. These are vendors that we trust with every event that we do.
Right. And knowing that also, you put your trust in them, and then it also in return for the clients, knowing that you can trust them, it creates trust all around.
Yes.
As well too. So.
And it's just a great team aspect overall. You know that your vendors are communicating. They've worked events together. They're all going to jive well, as opposed to just meeting each other for the first time that night, which also works as long as, again, you have a sound foundation with a good planner and a good system in place. I mean, we've done plenty of those events too,
Very cool.
Yeah.
We still have a couple minutes left. I do want to talk a bit about your upcoming wedding expos.
Yes.
So we'll start with the first one coming up February 23rd.
Yes, so that is the 11 is in the Air Wedding Expo. That both expos are free entry. We highly encourage all couples, family members, bring the whole entourage. Come have a good time. There's going to be food, drinks available. There's going to be vendors of all kinds there. We've got everything from, I think, a coffee cart and invitations and stationery, all the way through jewelry, dresses, tuxes, DJs, photographers, videographers, planners, and everybody in between. It's kind of going to be a one-stop shop. It is located at 1100 Events, which is in Schaumburg. I believe it's 1100 American Lane is their address, if I remember correctly, in Schaumburg. But they're a wonderful new venue. They actually just opened up late last year. Awesome. So we did a styled shoot for them, which was a lot of fun to kind of, be the first one in there to put something together in that space. But the expo is going to be a great time, truly. Lots of vendors, all willing to help you. And it's a smaller scale expo. It's not going to be one where you've got 100+ vendors. We're keeping it smaller on purpose. We want you to be able to make those connections with the vendors that you do still need to book for your upcoming event and wedding.
Absolutely. And then the second one is called Lucky in Love Wedding Expo. That's coming up in March.
Yeah. So that one is March 16th, right around Valentine's Day. And that one is going to be at Camp Big Timber in Elgin.
Nice.
Don't know their address off the top of my head. It's a
long one.
tricky.
37W 955.
There you go. Yep. Big Timber Road. Right over by Timber Trails, I believe, is the little neighborhood over there. But yeah, same idea, very different vendors though. It's really cool. We've got some photo booth companies and a lot of the same, not the same people necessarily, but a lot of vendors as far as photographers, videographers, planning, stationery, invitations. We've just got a really cool difference of vendors in them, I would say. From what we've seen, like there's, going to be about 30 to 40 vendors, I'd say probably maximum. But it's really going to be curated more for what people need. There's a few that we're still looking to fill some gaps on, but I know that we'll have them by then.
Absolutely. So before we let you go, I want to say thank you so much for joining us today, live on the air, beating the cold and coming in to talk about the Serendipity Collective. Tell us how people can find more information.
Of course, our website is www.theserendipitylectivellelc.com. You can go on there and learn a lot more about us, about our staff. You can look at some of our galleries, and get more information on there, as well as contact us on our Contact Us page. Those are just some recent events in that. Yeah. Otherwise, we're on Facebook, Instagram, pretty much everywhere at the Serendipity Collective Shy.
Awesome. Nikki, thank you so much for coming in today. I'm looking forward to this. This will be up on YouTube, so I'll make sure to share the link and also give you a personal copy as well. And I greatly appreciate you coming in today.
Of course. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for having us. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely. Folks, we're going to take a quick time out. We'll be back with more in just a bit.